thank you so much for joining me today for this video. I decided to do something a little bit different today and to share something that I've really been keeping largely to myself and a small group of people, which is that I'm pregnant. Oh yeah. So I'm pregnant, and I know that's not like big news, but the reason why I'm sharing this is because I should probably talk about it, because if I don't talk about it, then it'd be really awkward if all of a sudden you see a baby and I talk about my child and you're like, since when did you have a child? So here is the news. Now, to kind of share this with you, I decided to do what I did in my last kind of get to know me video and have my husband filming me. So he's behind the camera.
Hello.
And he's going to ask me a few questions. And I figure this is probably the easiest way to kind of share everything with you and really get started. Now, before I go into that, one of the reasons why I haven't shared this news earlier, to be blunt, is that I was actually really scared about talking about the pregnancy. A part of me really wanted to celebrate, and the other part of me was just really afraid of celebrating and then something going wrong, and then me having to create a video and explain that things didn't go well. So I didn't actually really talk about the pregnancy with very many people. And now I'm just over 5 months, approaching 6 months, and it's only now that I'm kind of coming out with it. So now I'm ready to kind of talk about things and answer the questions that I'm sure some of you might be having.
Let's get started.
Okay.
Are you having a boy or a girl?
We're having a girl.
Do you have any names?
Yeah, so we picked a name, and I think she's obviously going to be a daddy's girl or a papa's girl, or whatever you want to call a father, papa, daddy, whatever, pops. I don't know. Anyway, she's going to be his girl because dad picked the name. Do you want to share the name?
Daddy picked Skylar for the name.
Yeah, and we're going to call her Sky for short. We also have a couple other names that we've picked as a middle name, but I'm not going to share that because then that'd be too TMI.
When's the baby due?
She was actually due on January 1st.
What's the baby planned?
I feel like that's always a really awkward question to answer, but yes, she was planned. I don't really know what else to say other than that, other than we're really excited to have her.
You had a tumor in surgery before. Was it difficult to get pregnant?
No. So I thought it'd be difficult to get pregnant because I thought that because I had the surgery, that it would complicate things in terms of being able to be physically fit enough to carry a baby to term and to conceive. But actually it was the complete opposite. It really didn't take much time. So yeah, so if there's anybody that ever watches videos, ever had Whipple surgery, for having a tumor like mine, the good news is everything still works.
Did you do anything to help with conception?
Yeah, so to be fair, I did do a lot of things to help with conception in advance. So Ian and I had been talking about having kids for, what was it, like years, really?
A long time.
A long time. And we knew that when we wanted to try and have a baby, that we wanted to be as healthy and as in the right state of mind as possible. So we did a lot of things. So we went to go see Zita West, and Zita West is a fertility specialist in London, and she is amazing, just amazing. Now, many people use her for IVF, which is she's known and she's great for, but I actually used her to understand how to optimize the chances of having an somewhat as effortless as possible conception. And she just mentioned some little nuggets that really helped us really just get our bodies and our mindset right, so that when we were actually ready to say, let's go, we were actually in the healthiest state of mind and physically fit as possible.
Did you have any complications or problems during the pregnancy?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Now, I actually filmed this video a few weeks ago. I guess what I found surprising is that I thought that I would have like an awful pregnancy,
I thought that I would be sick and all that sort of stuff, but I've actually had it very easy. So that was a nice surprise. And I woke up one morning and I saw some people queuing to go for a run. And remember when I looked at you, do you remember that?
I do. You were like, honey, should we go for a run? And I'm like, I've been trying to get you to go for a race with me for like the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And the first time you want to go for a race is when you're 9 weeks pregnant.
Yeah.
And I was like, no complications whatsoever. The pregnancy has been a breeze. I've had no morning sickness. The worst thing for me is I have backache and I get tired, but that's it. Absolutely it. And I thought, no complications whatsoever. And I literally filmed a video. I kid you not, 2 days before I had the biggest complication that I didn't even comprehend or didn't even think was possible. And my complication wasn't to do with so much of the pregnancy, was unfortunately due to my last surgery. Now I've written a whole blog post about this because it's so much easier to explain it in a blog post than to kind of, over talk in a video. But the point is that I had a complication from my last surgery, and I needed another major surgery in order to stay alive, to put it bluntly. It was really difficult, really difficult, and I never thought that I'd have to go through that, but unfortunately it happens. And the good thing is that the baby is fine and I'm fine, and we will get through this, and I just need to carry our precious little girl to term. So I've only got 3.5 months to go.
And is there anything you've changed because of the complication?
Yeah, so here's the funny thing. So I thought that I would be one of those girls that would try and have a completely natural birth. And I really wanted to have a natural water birth. I remember seeing like the videos of the women just in the bath, and then sometimes they're in a room that looks like a spa and you're playing like really calming meditation music, and you've got like rose petals, and it just looks so much like a spa. Now I understand that obviously birth is, well, it's called labor for a reason, but I thought if I could do that, that would be amazing. I mean, weren't you also thinking that would be quite cool?
That would be amazing. That's what I had always imagined, that fantasy, that like it was just going to be a spa day.
Yeah, kind of like you go in for a spa, instead of you coming out with like, I don't know, detox treatment, you actually come out with a baby. But unfortunately, for me, that's probably not the best option right now. So kind of grappling with what I think is the right thing, and actually figuring out what is the best thing for me and the baby, and making sure that ultimately that she's safe and that she's healthy. That was a difficult thing to kind of come around to. But in the end, I decided I'm actually going to have a planned C-section. Now, I'm actually really excited about the planned C-section now, because the nice thing is that we have a date and I can go to a spa. Like, we can go to a spa, get a massage, and just chill out, go on a little break. We can really just have a good time before the baby comes. So, there's an actual benefit to having a planned C-section.
Yeah, that's what counts.
Yeah.
I just want both of you healthy.
Yeah.
So you're not scared of a C-section?
I mean, I'm not scared of a C-section. I'm actually not scared of surgery. I just don't like being in hospital. And it's my 3rd surgery in 18 months. So, I'm still recovering from my last surgery, which I only had 4 weeks ago.
If I see you in person, can I touch your bump?
No, please don't.
What's been your highlight about being pregnant?
Actually, even just before the pregnancy started, I tried to surround myself with a team of people that I thought could help make this experience as joyful and as fun and as amazing as possible. So from Z to West, working with Z to West, that was amazing. From doing acupuncture to help with the pregnancy. Actually, every time I do acupuncture, my fatigue completely disappears. To just today, actually, we had a midwife come in, Rachel Wadilove. She has this amazing book called The Baby Book, and she is just amazing at helping you to prepare for life. with a baby, and I've also seen a chiropractor. Seeing all those people has been really, really nice, because prior to the pregnancy, I wasn't doing treatments every single week. You know, I was working out and exercising, but I wasn't doing so much self-care and self-love. And I've been doing self-care and self-love pretty much every week, and it's been amazing. So that's definitely been a highlight.
What have you hated most about being pregnant?
Oh, what I've hated most are a couple of things. One is that I feel like I'm fat.
You're not fat, you're pregnant. I don't know how many times I have to tell you that.
I know, but you know what it is? It's like when you feel fit, you feel like you can just jump out of bed. It's different when you're pregnant, because when you're pregnant, the further along you get your pregnancy, the slower you feel. So instead of you feeling fitter as time passes by, I actually feel like I'm getting slower and slower and slower as time passes by. So that's been really difficult for me to deal with, because sometimes I get out of bed and I think I'm gonna just roll out of bed or jump out of bed, but I kind of more like roly-poly out of bed. Oh yeah, another thing I hate is people telling me to slow down. Oh my gosh, everyone tells me to slow down. Joy, slow down. Joy, don't pick up that box. Don't do this, don't do that. Do you know how hard it is for me not to... I feel like a lazy bum. Yeah, you know what, that sums it up perfectly. What I hate most about being pregnant is feeling like a complete lazy bum. Because my mom always says, you know, when a woman is pregnant, she is the queen. She is the queen of the house, and everybody must do everything they can to help her and support her. And I don't feel like a queen, I feel like a lazy bum. So I'm really, really struggling to chill. But what I will definitely take is the self-care. So the self-care I'll definitely do, but doing nothing I'm struggling with.
You're my queen.
Oh, yeah.
What were you told to give up that you haven't?
Oh, I was told to give up working out. I'm not going to mention any names, but I've lost count. Like, I can count on more than like a hand at least the number of people who told me not to exercise. Not by my doctor. Not by my doctor. In fact, my doctor said, you go girl, you go run, but not like that. But, you know, basically what they said, you keep on working out. Now, everybody else seems to have their own opinion. And what I find interesting is that when you're pregnant, everybody has an opinion on everything. They have an opinion on whether you should breastfeed, you know, whether you should sleep with your baby, co-sleeping, whether you should run, what you should eat, and all that sort of stuff. And one of the opinions I struggled with the most was a lot of people telling me that I needed to stop working out. Well, let me tell you something. I did not stop working out. There's nothing that could possibly stop me from exercising unless I've had surgery and I'm physically incapable of moving.
What surprised you about this pregnancy?
What surprised me is how much it's changed who I am as a person. I've never liked living in a messy home. Never liked that. However, I've also not been a fan of cleaning, so I prefer to have a cleaner come in and clean. Ever since I've been pregnant, I've actually decided to get more into cleaning and get more into homemaking and just really creating a space and a home that feels perfect for our girl and my husband and for all of us to kind of share this space together. So I've been spending a lot of time doing home related stuff, and I didn't expect that in my pregnancy.
That's awesome. I'm just grateful that you have invested so much in making this home a wonderful one for our family, not just for Skylar, but for me too. It's been wonderful. I love living here now. Not that I didn't love it before, but
it's becoming more of a home.
It feels like more of a home.
Yeah. Even her nursery is coming together.
Yeah, her nursery is gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
I'm getting jealous of my daughter. She's gonna have such a wonderful space to be in.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to prepare for birth?
Before I was doing a lot, you know, I was trying to prepare for a natural birth, but I've decided because I'm having a planned C-section, there's not really much I can do. But one of the things I have started doing is hypnobirthing. So I'm trying to do hypnobirthing every day. And I'm also working with a doula to try and help me kind of create a birth plan for the planned C-section so that it feels less surgical and it feels more like a birth. I'm also preparing for what life will be like after Skylar arrives. Really getting everything ready for when she's here, because I think so much emphasis can be placed on the birth or the pregnancy, and not a lot of thought is placed on what happens after the baby comes. So right now I'm actually spending a lot of time and effort thinking and getting ready for what life will be like after she's here, so that I really try and embrace being a mom.
How will your career change now that you're a mother?
I personally think and believe in the core of my heart and my being that I want to get back to work. And the difference is that I work from home, so it's not like I have to go to an office. I do set my own hours, I do set my own time, and I have been hiring people and I have been growing my team so that I can do less work-related tasks and spend more time with the baby. So for me personally, I really need to work. The same way that exercising is important to me, working is equally important to me. Having said that, so many women have told me that my mind might change after the baby comes. I don't see that happening, but I'm open to seeing how things change. But what I will try and do is I will try and be a woman who works and has a husband and has a child, because I think it's really important for me to also create something and also show our girls, show her that she can work and she can have her own career and she can get married and she can have a family, but she doesn't have to give it all up just because she's had a baby. So I really, really want to be the woman that I would try and inspire Skylar to be. It doesn't make sense for me to tell her that she can be a woman who works and have kids, and then for me not to have done that myself. So my mother has been amazing at doing that. My mother has been a hardworking, independent woman. She's always taken care of things. She always took care of us, but she also spent time with us and she managed to do both. So if my mum could do it, then I definitely want to make sure that I do it too.
Can I tell you about my horror birth story?
Please don't. Just please don't. And if I can say this, please don't talk about your horror stories to other pregnant women, because it can be everybody has such a different journey, and it can be so daunting when you go through something terrifying yourself to hear other people's horrifying stories.
What's one thing you're looking forward to teaching Skylar?
I'm looking forward to teaching Skylar how to be her own woman. And it's interesting because I spend so much of my time working with women, helping them become experts and leaders in their field. And now that I have a daughter of my own, I feel like it's even more important that the work that I do is that I do it really well. You know, that I do it in a way that I would even do that for my daughter. So really helping her become brilliant at something. I don't really care what it is, but just being brilliant at something that she enjoys. That would be, if there was one thing I could teach her, is to be brilliant at just something that she enjoys. That would be amazing. And it would also be amazing to help her develop her own thoughts, and not just to do things because I say she should do them, but for her to have her own opinion, her own mindset, and for her to do what she thinks is right for herself, and to also give back to the world. So if I could teach her to do those three or four things, whatever they are, if I could teach her to do all those things, then I feel as though I would have helped her to become her own woman, and not to be someone who feels that she has to please people, or that she has to, fit in, or that she has to just do a lot of things that she doesn't have to do, because she doesn't have to do anything really. And I hope she knows that, and I hope she maybe watches this one day and she knows that she just needs to do what's right and follow her heart and do her best. Yeah. I mean, is there anything that you want to teach her?
Amen.
Oh, I laughed. That was my first laugh since surgery. So funny. Ha ha.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there we go. That laugh is gone now. You're hilarious.
Much better.
Amen. I don't even think I've even heard you say amen. Amen, brother.
Amen. Well, thank you, Joy, for answering all of my questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was so nice to talk to you and to kind of get it out there. I'm so relieved that this is finally out. And yeah, now I no longer have to kind of hide my bump, although I wasn't really hiding it, but you know,